Hey guys, Shaman here, back with another live feature match replay with commentary by yours truly. No ASMR from me today. I'm recording this early enough that I can kind of talk normally, so sorry if you guys don't. If you guys are looking forward to hearing me whisper, I don't think anybody's looking forward to hearing me whisper. Today we have a matchup between, it looks like on the left is Aegis versus on the right, Mushoku Tensei. And so these are looking to probably be playing the standby decks. Actually, Aegis hasn't shown any standby cards yet. I think that's a standby in hand. And Mushoku here is clearly playing the 8 standby. So it's going to be a matchup between the standby decks. We'll see which one is better right now. Probably Aegis, I would say, unless Mushoku gets a setup first. But it really just depends on whether or not Mushoku sets up first. But I think Aegis is probably going to get to set up first. Mushoku gets a pretty good starting turn here, going first and playing the Rejord, clocking a level 0 Fukujiro Eris to search for the Roxy Brainstorm. So they are playing the Pendant, which is like the blue card. I think Pendant is extremely good in the English metagame, specifically to help combat Chainsaw Man. There are some like really good cards Mushoku has available to it. Okay, they're going to play a standby on turn 1 and standby out a 1-1 Eris. That's a really strong place for Mushoku to be at. Having a 1-1 Eris on the board. Having 2 1-1 Erises on the board this early is really powerful. If they have a standby in hand, they are basically they're just gonna like snowball so fast. This is, if I'm playing Mushoku and I'm in this position, I'm feeling so good. I feel like I can't lose the game. So we'll see how Aegis attempts to combat this extremely powerful opening turn from the Mushoku player. But as I will say, in English, I do believe Mushoku should be playing blue splash for both the Pendants and the 1-0 bomb to help deal with Chainsaw Man. I think Mushoku actually has a really good matchup into Chainsaw Man, specifically with those 2 cards. And JP is less powerful, but I still think Pendant is just a really good card to be playing in Mushoku standby, because it gives you the ability to have to search out standby targets and put them into the waiting room, basically all in one card. So that's just really good. All right, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and attack. So Aegis is playing 1 stock bomb and 2 play on death Rikis to just kind of go in for some damage and early aggression. I think they side the middle. It looks like they might have sided the middle, which is kind of interesting. And does trigger a standby as well and hits Mushoku to level 1. So this is kind of a good play here by Aegis, I think. Are they? Oh, okay. So it wasn't a side. It was just a front and a stock bomb. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, I basically negating the Mushoku player's early standby by hitting them to level 1 anyway. So like they're not really getting that much value out of having 2 Erises. I mean, still a lot of value, but like you don't get to just have these Erises fully at the level 0 game. But just like, yeah, I think Aegis playing well here. Just going aggressive. The longer the level 0 game is for them at this point, and the worse it's going to be. So hitting them to level 1 and kind of just progressing the game state I think is very powerful here. And also there's no problem with hand size because the Rikis on death will be able to recoup hand. So yeah, I think a good aggressive play here. Now Mushoku does hit a Brainstorm. We go ahead and search out the level 0 Roxy. The Roxy will be able to grab the Pendant. However, they do not have blue. So even though they will be bonding to the Pendant right now, they will not be able to play it this turn. They'll have to wait until the following turn to play it. Getting a peek, top and bottom. But I think it's still good here because they can discard like something like a standby target. So if they have a 2-2 Ghislaine in the hand, they can use this opportunity to discard the 2-2 Ghislaine. That's a level 3, but still, my point still stands, and grab out the Pendant here. And the Pendant will be good for the next turn so that they can get good value out of that later. Now, really, if they have the standby here, the level 1 Eris standby, they'll be very happy. Even if they don't, though, they're still like pretty head and card advantage. They have 2 1-1s on the board. As long as they have like a counter in hand to protect them, and even if they can't protect them. Okay, so there's no standby this turn, but yeah, we'll just be able to swing with these 1-1-7-5s. And Aegis gets big, but they only get big once you standby out like the level 2 change into the level 3. So it'll still take at least 1 turn before Aegis is really trying to contest this board. So I think Mushoku should be in a pretty good position here. However, we are seeing that this Aegis player is playing the yellow package level 1, which is the Shadow Clone Jutsu card. And that does get pretty big. It's 6-5 with a full board, so they could potentially pump it up with something like the bounce back, playing a standby. So one of the heiresses might die here, which would be unfortunate. At this point, I think like for me, if I was in this position as Mushoku and I didn't have the standby, I would be trying my best to at least search something like the 1-0 counter to protect one of the heiresses, knowing that like if I can keep the heiresses alive for one more turn, it's going to be a lot of really good value. So probably like in this case, for example, potentially doing something like not brainstorming and actually potentially clocking the brainstorm would be, for example, a play that I would go for, just so I could have blue to play blue cards. All right, Alice Gear does get hit to like pretty high level 1 at this point. They use the on death Riki effect, clock a climax, and then clock for turn. So now they are at 1-5. Which is a pretty advanced game state. Like you really want to be out like low level 1 with Alice Gear so that you can stand by the 2/2 and have like basically a full level's worth of gameplay with the 2/2 on the board and potentially threatening the early play level 3s as early as like level 1. The fact that they're already so far into level 1, like on the turn that they finish changing, they're still probably going to be at like they're probably going to be well into level 2. Does mitigate a lot of the advantage that the standby Alice Gear deck can do. This is why I do like the Alice Gear game plan of hitting yourself to level 1 like really quickly at level 0, so that you can play with that full clock worth of damage. And this is why Alice Gear also, compared to other standby decks, really wants to go first. Whereas like a deck like Mushoku, you actually don't really care if you go first or not. In fact, I think I would argue Mushoku probably wants to go second more than it wants to go first, for the standby build at least, because if you can attack 3 times with Mushoku standby and trigger standbys, you can actually standby out a lot of really powerful 1/1s for the following turn. But then with a deck like Alice Gear, you really want to hit level 1 first, so you want to go first, because then you can go first and then like clock yourself a bunch of times to hit level 1. All right, yeah, so the Alice Gear player is going to do a double bounce effect here with the level 0 to bounce and give a bunch of power. So I think each bounce back gives 1k to 2 characters. I'm just kind of spitballing that off the top of my head. I think that is the case. I'm actually not 100% sure. And so I believe that will mean that they get over by 500. No, yeah, they get over by 500 each. So they're 6k with not a full board, and they're going to be plus 2k each, so they'll be at 8k on both lanes, so they actually get over. So that's really powerful because of the effects of those bounce backs. So yeah, no counter with the Mushoku player is actually really rough here. And so yeah, we'll see what they do. So the top check effect of the 1-0s is really nice with the bounce back, because the bounce back combo is just a reveal add, and sometimes if you reveal something like a climax, it's actually really bad because you have to mill it if you can't add it. So it's like it compounds. Like if you can't add, you're actually minus a lot because you're not even going to be able to trigger the standby. So the 1-0 yellow, like the Ninja Meliodas clone, allows you to top check 2 and stack basically what you add. So it gives you a little bit of selection as well as a little bit of guarantee that if you see a standby in the top 2, you can stack it second, add the top card, and then actually trigger the standby with the trigger effect. And obviously, if you don't want to trigger standby, you can always just mill it. So it is good with the level 0 combo. However, having dual color at level 1 is kind of awkward for the Alice Gear deck. And then the level 0 combo, while it is nice advantage, it is like oh yeah, they don't have blue. What are they trying to do? While it is nice advantage, it is not the main focal point of Alice Gear. Like the big thing is getting the 2/2 out as soon as possible, and changing to the 3/2 as soon as possible. So it makes sense also not to prioritize something like the level 1 combo or like the level 0 combo turns. Like it doesn't have to be that good. Getting that 2/2 in the back row is the most important thing. All right, so the Mushoku player is going to be able to brainstorm here and hit, and is going to grab a level 1 Aegis to hand off the salvage effect. This turn is a little awkward. They have a pendant in hand, but they don't have blue still, so they're unable to play it from hand. That may or may not be a factor or a problem here. And then they're going to go ahead and play a Aegis onto the board from hand. It's going to be a 1/1/7/5. Definitely going to get over any of these level 0s. Okay, going to go ahead and bond to another pendant. So that's double. Okay, so this is definitely a misplay by the Mushoku player, not clocking the bonder Roxy for blue and clocking a 2/2 Ghislaine instead. Yeah, that's definitely a big misplay, I think, on their half, especially if they have the Eris standby here. They basically miss out on another plus since they only have one Eris, but they don't even have a standby. So that's definitely not good for them. They're triggering, and they are dealing damage, which is quite good. Alice Gear player does level up. This is the crucial part playing as standby Alice Gear, is the level 2. You want to hit them to level 3 on a single turn push, and if you can, then you're probably going to win the game, because then that means they cannot heal down and they're just stuck at level 3, and it's probably you probably have a decent time finishing the game when they're 3-0. But if you cannot hit the Alice Gear player to level 3 all in one swoop, they will simply just heal down every single turn and you will be in a pretty bad state. So we shall see how the level 2 game is navigated, because this is kind of the part of the game where you just have to go really aggressive if you're playing against Alice Gear. Otherwise you just get healed out of control. Alright, Alice Gear player is in a good spot, 2-1, so that means they're definitely going to be able to heal down. One of the really good strategies or tactics that Alice Gear can use at this point, so they have 5 cards left in deck, they're close to a refresh. So what they really want to do is enter attacks phase. Alright, okay, never mind. They're not even gonna do that. Okay. They're just gonna brainstorm out. Alright, that's not okay. As they are brainstorming out, which it does hit 1, so they will be able to salvage 1. Let's talk about the tactic that Alice Gear can use in this situation. So the really strong tactic is you can mill down to 2 cards in deck, and then you attack once, you pay 1 heal, so you heal down to 2-0, and then after your second attack, you'll have refreshed the deck. You'll take the refresh, penalty from refresh resolution, which is one damage to clock, and then your last attack, which is you save one of your healer attacks for the last attack, and then you can heal that one as well. So it basically allows you to heal through the refresh. It's a really nice tactic that Alice Gear can use. Unfortunately, they do not go for it here, and instead they just opt to refresh the deck immediately, which is still good. This is better to do this than to not, because you want to make sure that your healing is maximized. So they're going to be able to heal both of the damage through the refresh by triggering the refresh early. But what you don't want to do here is to not refresh at all, in which case you're basically missing out on a heal. And the heal is very, very powerful. The heal is so much more powerful than the burn, because healing 1 is really good, and burning 1 is not very good. It's much easier in this game to do damage than to heal. And so burn 1 is just not very powerful. Alright, they are going to triple level 0 bounce back. Oh my goodness. Okay, so 2 of them are going to bounce back and give the effects. They're gonna stand by out another level 3. Okay, so they didn't have the level 3 combo, which then I guess makes sense that they... Well, actually, does that make sense? If they didn't have the level 3 combo, I wouldn't have even refreshed. The refresh doesn't really make sense to me anymore. Okay, so now they're going to go ahead and pay 1 to heal. Definitely pay 1 to heal. There shouldn't be no thought process here. Alright, and then they're going to trigger the standby. So they stacked... Did they stack all 3 instances of the top check onto this 1-0? That's crazy. So add 1. Add 1. Wait. What? Did they... Wait, what? Did they just not add? Wait. That's so strange. Why would... Huh? Why would they not add? They had 3 pluses here, potentially, and they only chose to plus once. That can't be right. They're not even full hand. They have 6 cards in hand. Is that they just... How did they assign the top checks? Because you have to assign it to another character. So like, did they just assign them to each other and then bounce back to... That makes no sense. I'm so confused. Did they not... I'm so confused. Alright, anyways. Oh, we're just gonna pretend... I mean, they're still in a winning... Alice Gear's still in a winning position. So like, I guess there's nothing wrong, but like that play just didn't make any sense to me. All right, so now they finally have blue. Mushoku Tensei finally has blue. Is finally able to play a pendant. Better late than never. That's not true actually. If you hit level 3 and you play a pendant, it's actually just better never because you're gonna -1. So unless the search is worth the -1, you basically never play pendants at level 3. Sometimes you do though, like you know, if you have the search, like it's final turn or something. All right, and discarding the level 3 Roxy. That's actually a really good discard target. And they're gonna pendant again. So they have 2 pendants. This is kind of a risky play by the Mushoku player, especially since they missed their brainstorm that they performed this turn. They are going to -2 for this effect. So pendants, when you play them, do minus you because you play a card from hand, you search a card, and you discard a card. So you actually you minus a card from your hand, and you get it back later when you level up and the pendant gets another search. Now you go net even. You get all your cards advantage back, and it's really strong because you get basically 2 staggered searches, and that helps a lot with compression and utility. But it is really bad if you're low on advantage, which I believe the Mushoku player should be pretty low on advantage right here. They have to field like 3 attackers with like, it looks like they have to field 3 attackers with only 6 cards in hand, which is not a good position to be in. Like 6 cards seems like a lot, but in Weiss, like a lot of your cards are not, like you can't play your whole hand every turn. A lot of times, you know, there are cards you're saving for later or cards that have utility that you may not want to access immediately. So 6 cards with no characters, like attacking characters on board, is actually very low. So I'm curious to see how he's going to navigate this turn, especially since he hasn't used an Aegis combo this game. So his hand advantage is definitely very low. The Mushoku player is not in a good position right now, even though they are slightly ahead in damage. They're not incredibly ahead. Okay, they're going to go for an early play heal. That's very interesting. I do not play the early play heal in my personal Aegis Standby Mushoku deck list. I think it's kind of hard to get value out of it because it's very hard to control your deck state in that deck. I think your mills are not very powerfully. I just don't think you have a lot of control over mills, especially at this point in the game. You're just kind of like attacking 3 times and presenting like the biggest board you can. That being said, yeah, so one of the reasons why this is going to be really tricky, as I said previously on their turn, is that they have to deal 6 damage here. If Mushoku player can deal 6 damage on this turn, they are in a winning position. But if they can't, they are probably in a losing position because Alice Gear has 3 of the, I actually don't even remember her name. Is her name like Nanami or something? I think it's like Nanami. But basically, yeah, they have 3 of them on the board. So if they don't level up here, they are just going to heal down to 2-0 again, or as close to 2-0 as you can really realistically be. So yeah, Mushoku definitely needs to go for like a big push in damage, but they're not really presenting a board for that. Okay, that's pretty good. The standby. Okay, I do like this play. So they're gonna use the standby and 2 copies of the Roxy Brainstorm to give twin drive effects to 2 of their characters. They're gonna use a bounce back to get some extra power, but more importantly, they're gonna be able to see the top few cards of their deck to arrange their triggers and know exactly how much damage they can potentially do. And right here, if they're smart, they should be standbying out the 3-2 Roxy to give even more potential triggers and potential twin drives specifically. So I think 3-2 Roxy is definitely the right standby target here. You really want to stamp out 3-2 Roxy in the back row. Never mind. I stand corrected. Okay, Galena's not bad. Galena's probably the second best option if you didn't have 3-2 Roxy, but they have 3-2 Roxy, so I would have stood by 3-2 Roxy. Galena, the thought process behind Galena here is that on the next turn, Galena can promote to the front row and just beat over like a just absolutely beat over something like wait a second. The standby was on top? Does that mean the second card's a standby as well? I guess it is, huh? Wait, it isn't. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you trigger standby on top? Wait, that's just wrong. Wait, that's just wrong. Wait, that's just wrong. Why would you stack standby on top? You stack standby second here. Any time. What? Why would you stack standby on top? You stack what? What? You stack standby second and then you standby Paul. That's crazy. No, this play was illegal. No, this turn is so illegal by Mushoku player, I think. No, that's just so illegal. You stack standby second, so your first attack will be a two soul, and then the second attack will trigger standby, and then standby out the Paul, guaranteed, and then your third attack will twin drive the standby out, and you do as much damage as possible, really, and you pay out the standby, and then you keep as many climaxes in deck. Why did they standby out 2/2 Galen, by the way? They standby out 2/2 Galen. They have the 3/2 Roxy in waiting room. That's just a better card. I'm so confused. And now Alistair is just gonna heal down to 3s, like to 2/1. Because they're at 2/4, they don't clock, because they don't need to, they have 3 attackers. And they're just gonna like play a standby out like a big dude, and then like just go to town. Like that was kind of illegal. I mean, Alistair canceled twice here, which is like pretty good for them. They did take 3, but they're gonna just heal 3, so it's like there's really no difference. That's still illegal. That Mushoku play was just so illegal. It is just so illegal. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. They could have. What? I'm so confused. They could have the same exact board, but like 10 times better. They have 3/2 back row. They could have had a Paul in a better position, and then they could have had 1 climax in deck still. Like they could have the exact same board with a cancel still. Like this play just doesn't make any sense. Now they're also just gonna lose a brainstorm. Like they're not gonna have a brainstorm on the following turn here. It's just crazy to me. It's gonna be for 2 damage here. Does Mushoku has 1 hand? How are they gonna play the game? I don't understand. Oh no, okay, no, they have 2 cards in hand. They can like anti-change here if they have the anti-change. They have the rest punch. Are they gonna go for the rest punch? There's no way they're gonna go for the rest punch. Yeah, okay, they're just gonna get bigger. Okay, good. I was like, if they go to the rest punch here, that's actually trolling. I will actually just lose my mind. Good punch. Good punch, actually. That's pretty huge. Being able to get over with the Paul. The Paul's probably like the best card here to keep alive. A lot of damage potential and just like big body. Big body. Oh, they take the 3 here. That's a lot of damage. But it's actually not bad if Mushoku hits level 3 here, because Alistair just doesn't have kill. That's another weakness of Alistair, is that they have very low finishing potential with the level 3. And so even if you're at level 3, especially if you have defensive options like rest counter, like like especially rest counter in this situation, and just good compression, you're not gonna lose to Alistair at level 3. So it's actually not bad. And then by hitting level 3, you basically turn off their ability to use something like an anti-change punch to get over. But I think at this point you should not. Oh, and they go for the clock anyways. I probably wouldn't have clocked. Oh, actually they have no hand. So no, actually no, the clock is good because they have no hand here. And then they get to proc both pendants to get like all their hand back. Did they draw 2 yet? Did they clock draw 2? You have to draw 2 first. You can't pendant and then draw 2. Oh, is this gonna be illegal? Please tell me they drew 2 already. It doesn't look like they drew 2 though. I'm a little worried here. Okay, clock. All right, cutting, and then no, they drew 2 already. Oh, phew! I was like, you can't just clock, level, pendant, draw 2. That's not how this game works. Okay, but now the Galen is gonna come in play. So this is like why Galen wasn't a bad standby option, because now Galen can move forward. It's gonna get 5k if they have a full board, and there's no backups, so no counterplay. They will be able to get over one of the. Actually, is her name Yuko? I don't know her name. Yeah, I watched this anime too. Why did they play the Galen? Dude, that could have been a Roxy. Oh, why is that a Galen? That could have been a Roxy in the back row. Why are they hard playing a Galen from hand? That's not real. That's not real. Do they not have like a brainstormer? What is going on? I mean, if they have a standby, they're fine. They can standby out something like the the Roxy to the back row. All right, I mean that's basically a standby. It's telegraphing that there's a standby in hand. All right, it's fine. All right, okay, the wrong standby, but that's fine. At this point, you don't really need like the burn effect, although you would really want to, because like your goal here is to hit the Alice Gear player to level 3. If you don't hit the Alice Gear player to level 3, the game is kind of over at this point, because they're just gonna keep healing and you're just never gonna be able to kill them. Okay, there you go. Finally, Roxy on board. That is pretty big. Pretty big. That's a pretty big deal here. All right, so now attack order. Correct attack order would be, no, you attack the 2/2 Ghislaine first. That's your worst lane. Oh my gosh, no. Why would you do this? Oh, it hurts. Okay, I mean, now you just stand by over 2/2 Ghislaine, right? Probably. Or just don't stand by. I mean, that's probably fine too. Alright, and giving the twin drive effect to the 2/2 Ghislaine. For what purpose? Alright, because like attacking direct with the 2/2 Ghislaine is the same thing as a front attacking with the 3/2 Ghislaine. Like they can't back up. They can't do anything there. Alright, stand twin drive here. So directing here for 1, 2, 3 damage and trigger for just 3 damage. That's good. If this 6 is gonna be pretty big. Oh, that's pretty big. Alice Gear Aegis player is at level 3 now. They are within killing range. That's actually quite big. And Mushoku is going up to 5 stock. That's a good place for Mushoku to be. This is pretty big. This is pretty big. Are they gonna twin drive here? Okay, that seems interesting. If they're out of climb, okay, would definitely not have twin drive here. If I was Mushoku, because yeah, you had climaxes in deck. Why would you twin drive? That's kind of big. If you knock out like 2 climaxes here, like they could potentially just lose. Just 1 climax, so not a big deal, and it's gonna be for 3 damage here. And the 3 damage is taken. Whoa. Okay, Alice Gear is kind of in an interesting position now. They don't have a board. They only have 5 stocks, so they can only 3 stock encore one of them, if they even want to 3 stock encore one of them. And they have a decent amount of hand, but it doesn't look that good. And Mushoku has 5 stock, is at 3-0 if they have rest counter in hand. This is actually really bad. And they have 2 pawls. 2 pawls here is pretty good, because the pawls can reflect back some of that damage. And you know, Alice Gear kind of actually has to choose between going for the finishing turn with burns or trying to heal out of the range of the burns from Paul potentially. And yeah, and Paul is also buffing the entire board by 3k. So this Ghislaine is actually huge. This Ghislaine is 14. This Ghislaine in the middle is a problem. It is quite a menace here. Oh wow, this is actually interesting. We got a game on our hands. All right, they're gonna go for the Rico effect. Alice Gear Aegis Rico effect. Revealing a 0, salvaging the Brainstormer. I think what they're trying to do here is they're trying to go into a new deck and then using the effect of the helmet here to like get some pieces. Another card that they could really potentially use here is like the burn 3/2 Brainstormer. They do have a lot of cards on the board that they can rest and then either send away with an effect like the helmet or just like play over to continue to burn. Trying to go for like a more aggressive finishing turn. I think if they don't have the 3/2 standby in hand, it's going to be really rough for them here because they wouldn't be able to get a lot of bodies on the board. Okay, so now they're going to opt to play the Riki, mill the last card in deck, so they're going to refresh here. I'm assuming that this is just so that they can get a good search effect off with the helmet, so they can get anything they want. But yeah, without the level 3 standby combo, it seems a little rough. I was actually surprised, but Mushoku like was able to stick a ton of damage that previous turn. Basically hitting Alice Gear from 2-4 to 3-3, and now Alice Gear is definitely in a really awkward situation. All right, let's see how they play out of this. So they're gonna go for the Brainstorm, and now they're gonna go for the Brainstorm 5 effect. Okay, so we're gonna see what we get off the top here. All right, we do have a 3-2 now in the waiting room. There's a 3-2 at the top of the clock, and we do hit 2 climaxes. That's pretty big at the end. So probably gonna grab the 3-2 and a 2-1. Okay, the 2-1's gonna be able to find a climax from deck. That's actually huge. Wait, this is huge. They can helmet now. They can helmet for another 3-2. Oh, wait, that's actually huge. Helmet for another 3-2 here, and then helmet for 3-2, and then they can actually go for the. Oh, that's actually huge. They can 3-2 combo this turn. They get a Mocha. Mocha's really big. Mocha plus 2 burn ones potentially. Let's go for decent push here. They have 4 stocks, so they have to search 3-2, play 3-2, and then, or I mean, they can search the 2-2 and do the change, like it's the same thing, the fusion. It's basically the same thing. And then play the 2-1 from hand to grab the climax if they don't have it. They're just gonna hard grab the 3-2, which I think is basically the same thing. Actually, no, technically fusion's better if they fusion here. They lose 1 card on board, but it doesn't matter because they're gonna play over stuff anyways. And then the fusion allows them to take 1 extra card out of a deck. So I would probably fusion here. I think it's actually probably wrong for them to not fusion. Or are they just gonna search it? Yeah, they don't fusion here. That's weird. I would have fusion here. It's kind of strange. Oh, wait, they're gonna hard play 2 of the 3-2s. Do they? No, they're not gonna hard play 2 of the 3-2s. What is going on here? Okay, first of all, this is illegal. Get your freaking Rico back on board, please. Get your Rico back on board. Thank you. All right. Okay, so they're not gonna go for the 3-2 play. I mean, if they have the climax, that doesn't. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to go for the 3-2 play here. I don't know what's going on. They should have fusion first of all. Yeah, definitely should have fusion here. As you can see, like they're playing over cards. If you're gonna play over a card, you might as well just fusion. It's like the same thing, except you get like marker compression and a little bit of extra power. So like and like deck compression. You get like guaranteed clean card out of your deck. So like pretty good. Oh man, what's gonna happen? This is kind of exciting. I'm curious to see how they navigate this turn, this Alistair player, because like, yeah, this is definitely an interesting board state. Okay, so they are gonna play over it with a 1-0. What? Nah, this isn't real. This can't be real. What? What is this play? Dude, the chess eval bar just dropped like a bajillion. Like, what is this play? I do not understand. Are they just trying to get an extra trigger? No, this play is weird. What is going on? I think this play. Okay, I just need a. I will talk about this play once we get into attack, because I just need to see what they're doing, because they have 2 more stock and they can do something else. So like, I just don't understand this right now though. This is what? Huh? What is going on? What is this? I'm so confused. What? Okay. And they're letting them cut? Why? Are they not playing the 2-1 down here? What? No, this can't be real. Are they not playing the 2-1? I don't see a climax in hand, right? Yeah, there's no climax in hand. Are they not playing the 2-1? There's just no way. There's no way. What are they thinking about? They're thinking about the on-death effect? There's no way. There's actually no way that... No, there's no way. What is there to think about? I don't understand. Do you just not play the 2-1 here and grab the climax from deck? Oh! Does it... Oh, does it have to be a climax that's already in waiting room? Do they not have it in waiting room? They have to have it. Oh, it wasn't in waiting room. It's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. Also, this is a misplay. They should have kept the one. There's no way. There's no way. What? There's no way. Huh? Wait, can't you just keep a 1-0? Isn't it like, if you have the other 1-0 on board, you get the effect? Why would they just not, like, play over the back row brainstormer? Why are they keeping this brainstormer around? This doesn't make any sense. Wait. I have to be, like, misremembering the card. Maybe it's like, it has to be in front row. Let me read it. This play seems so illegal. Why are they doing such illegal plays? Let me read this card. Okay, yeah, okay, you need it in front row. Okay, that's why. Alright, that's not that bad. Less illegal, but it's still pretty illegal. What is... Okay, so they did 1 damage here. Are they just gonna burn? I mean, you kind of have to burn here. There's just no world where... That's not... 2 damage? Okay, no rest counter? No rest counter. They don't have rest counter. They don't have rest counter? Uh-oh. If this triggers, are they gonna burn? They went for the burn. Oh, that hits. Oh, they were out. They were out and they didn't have rest counter. Oh man, that's not good. That's not good. I would have, what? They didn't have rest counter? They didn't search rest counter? They didn't prioritize rest counter here? What is going on? No. What is going on? I don't understand. Why would they not prioritize rest counter? This is what happens when you don't keep the brainstorm around. I think we should, okay, one of the things I noticed about standby, okay. So take it. So 3, 5 here. All right, after the burn 1 and the refresh point, trigger for 2. It's just 2 damage. It's just 2 damage. Are they gonna cancel? Oh, that's so sad. They didn't cancel. Oh my gosh, that was insane. How did Alice here win this game with those plays? That holy. All right. Look, I think the early game was fine by both players. I think the mid game is when some of this gameplay started getting extremely illegal and just like that was not a real game. That was exciting. That was really fun to watch, but some of that gameplay was just not good. Okay, I think. Okay, now that I've seen all of this game, now I kind of understand what's going on. Okay, so the first thing, I think a lot of 8 standby Mushoku players make the mistake. They stand by over their brainstorms way too freaking early. If you get rid of your brainstorm as 8 standby Mushoku, you are basically telling your opponent, I either have rest punch in hand or I'm an idiot and I'm gonna lose the game because I have no way of getting cards back into my hand selectively, right? Like without that brainstorm, Mushoku just does it, like their board is big, so they're not playing over cards on their board, and then like they just don't have ways to plus back to hand. Like all their triggers are standby, so they standby to board. They're never gonna get cards to hand. So either they have like 2 rest punches in hand already, and they're just like, I don't need to draw more cards, like, or I don't need like to get more cards to my hand that I need, or they just like they don't, and they're like, what are you doing, right? So I think the thing that Mushoku players should try to do more often is to keep the brainstormer on board for as long as possible until power actually matters, right? I think a lot of Mushoku players will replace the brainstormer with like the global 1k. Because they're like, oh, global 1k is so powerful, 1k power, it's a 2-soul beater, you know, I will attack with it later. You're never gonna attack with it later, dude. Like in game Mushoku, you're always attacking with 3-2s. Like your 3-2s aren't gonna die. You don't need this 2-2 in your back row, right? So like my back row when I'm playing Mushoku standby is always 3-2 Roxy, level 0 Roxy. I almost never standby out like another card to back row unless like I know on the following turn I'm gonna convert that card to something useful, like a 3-2 Ghislaine. Like the following turn, I'm gonna push that up, I'm gonna combo with it. Otherwise, I just like keep the brainstorm in the back row because brainstorm is really powerful. It's a really important card. Like think about it. Would I rather standby out the 3-2 Ghislaine, or like keep the brainstorm there and then on the following turn I just brainstorm, hit, salvage 3-2 Ghislaine, play 3-2 Ghislaine, heal, and I have 3-2 Ghislaine anyways, right? It's like I want the heal sometimes. So like yeah, the brainstorm's really good. Or I always like hold a brainstorm in hand, and then if I don't have rest punch, I like try to brainstorm for the rest punch because like as you can see there, not having rest punch is just huge, right? Like Mushoku endgame. It like lives and dies on rest punch. You really need the rest punch. They had exactly enough stock for rest punch too, and no rest punch. So that was really tragic. Yeah, I think probably they were 1 stock short if they had a brainstorm for rest punch. But I think there was a few opportunities in the mid game where they could have preserved the stock. I think they brainstormed like 3 turns in a row. Probably one of those brainstorms weren't necessary, or could have like been to grab a rest punch instead. And they also played an early play healer. Even though it heals the stock, it's still -1 stock. That's like just a stock I wouldn't be really using on personally. I would save that stock for later. They also played a 2-2 Ghislaine hard from hand. I think that was definitely a huge stock expenditure that they definitely did not need to use. So they should have had enough stock to use the rest punch there, even if they like brainstorm for it. And I think that's probably the big takeaway there, Mushoku, right? Like just you need rest punch. If you don't have rest punch, you need your brainstorm because your brainstorm is going to get you a rest punch. I think Alice Gear's side, that turn was kind of crazy, but I think what happened, I'm just going to guess, right? It's like they thought they could use a 2-1 to search for the climax and then realize like sometime in the play that they didn't have the right standby in the waiting room, so they couldn't search for the right standby in the deck. That being said, they still should have fusioned. I think like not fusioning there is like, it's kind of troll. And then And then they definitely should have just burned on both counts, right? I think like not burning on both counts is pretty troll there. They healed on the first one, which is like, why would you heal here? It like doesn't make any sense. You're just going for game. I think there's probably a different line that they could have done as well. If they realized earlier that they didn't have the right climax in the waiting room, they could have like because they had the 2-2 in hand, right? So they could have, because they had the helmet, the helmet could have gone for anything. So they could have helmeted for like a climax swap, like that swap from deck. Because I don't know if this list runs it, but Alex here has 2 climax swaps, one that swaps from waiting room and one that swaps from deck. So they could have gone for the one that swaps from deck and then use the 2-1 back row to search for a climax, like the wrong climax, and then swap into the right climax. So that could have worked, right? Or they could have gone for the 3-2 spammable, or not spammable, but the 3-2 brainstorm that burns, and they could have gone for like a more aggressive endgame. But I think that turn they should have been pushing for like lethal damage. So I think healing was troll. I think not going for like the burn brainstorm is pretty troll. And then obviously there was like the misplay of like I can't get the right climax to hand. So there's that. But I mean, I think misplays are what makes Weiss kind of fun and exciting. I think that's definitely, that endgame was kind of exciting just to watch. I was like, whoa, what's going on? But yeah, it was definitely a fun game, and hopefully one that you guys can learn a bit from. I think standby matchups are always really interesting to analyze because it's a lot of push and pull of the board dynamics, and kind of like it's a lot about like prioritizing the right thing at the right time, and just really like there's a lot of like, the push and pull dynamic is really cool. All right, anyways, that's it for this week's matchup. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. Please let me know in the comments below what you guys think and what kind of content you guys want to see me do or tackle. But yeah, that's it for this time. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.